You've been with yourself for every moment of your life, and you're going to be with yourself for the rest of your life. But what do you do when you have a horrendous relationship with yourself, and that's the thing that's keeping you stuck after years of broken promises? Well, today I'm going to give you 3 top tips on what you can do to help fix that relationship with yourself so that you can start to act out of kindness rather than out of hatred. I'm your host, as always, Daniel James, a mindset and high performance coach, and my mission is simple: to help give you the information that I wish I'd had sooner, to hopefully get you out of that dark place that you are in, because I know what it's like to suffer in silence. So let's dive into the things that are going to help us to build this relationship and this trust with ourselves after years of broken promises. Well, the first thing is, and it sounds obvious, but it still needs to be said, we've got to start with small commitments. Just start by making small promises to ourselves. Just like with a friend that keeps lying, and make this decision: I'm going to stop lying. I'm a changed person. You've got to believe me. Well, normally the response is, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to believe you. Why should I believe you? And they'll say, I'm going to show you that I've changed. And that's the kind of attitude you have to have towards yourself. You have to start small. You have to start showing yourself that you can keep your word. What normally happens is we try and do something massive. That's it. I'm going to start going to the gym 5 days a week. No, that's it. I'm not going to do this anymore. And we keep breaking that promise again and again and again. And it just gets us into the same cycle we're trying to break. So can we just start small? Can we start by making small promises to ourselves that seem so ridiculous to even think about breaking them? For example, drinking 1 glass of water a day. And you might be like, Daniel, that's ridiculous. Yeah, but it's a promise. And it's so easy, it's silly to break it. But once you've drank that 1 glass of water, guess what? You've made a promise yourself, you stuck to it, tick. Or maybe it's making your bed. Again, so simple. You do it, tick. And that's it, just one thing. I'm not talking about a list of things, just one thing. Because that's you then saying you're going to do something and sticking to your word. But the goal here isn't the habit. I don't care what the thing is. It's not about the thing. It's about you keeping to your word and proving to yourself that you can actually stick and do with what you say. And after a few weeks, or maybe even a few days, depending on where you're at, of keeping these small promises to yourself, you can then start to add slightly bigger things. You're just slowly building up, just like you would do with a friend. If a friend keeps lying to you and keeps breaking promises, you're not going to trust them straight away. They have to earn that trust. And this is what you're doing here. Those small little things, you're earning that trust with yourself. And you're just adding deposits into that trust bank. Just add the deposits into that trust bank. And some of you are going to be in a massive negative. And that's okay. You're just chipping away. You're chipping away. £1 at a time, $1 at a time, €1 at a time, wherever you are, just one thing at a time until we start to get into positive credit with ourselves. Second thing we can do is create a 24-hour recovery rule. Now, we're going to mess up. Life is perfectly imperfect, and life gets chaotic. Things happen. Life is always lifing. But what we want to do is not allow ourselves to go down that negative spiral. So when we do mess up, which is inevitable, it's going to happen, give yourself 24 hours to get back on track, because this stops the cycle. It breaks that pattern. Because normally something goes wrong and we allow ourselves to dwell. And what happens is 1 day becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, 1 week becomes 2 weeks, 2 weeks becomes 2 months. And before we know it, we're just stuck in this negative thought pattern and this thought spiral. So when something goes wrong, have your 10-minute funeral. Feel sorry for yourself. Allow yourself to get angry. I'm not trying to preach toxic positivity. That's not what it's about. When things go wrong, it sucks. You're allowed to get annoyed at yourself, but for 10 minutes. Set a time on your phone, set it on your watch, 10 minutes, done. Then we're going into, right, how can we make sure this doesn't happen again? What went wrong? What can I learn from this? Straight away, we're going into reflection mode. We're learning, we're taking the lessons from this, and we're moving forward. We are not allowing ourselves to have 2 bad days in a row. By implementing this 24-hour rule, it will stop you having 2 bad days in a row. We're not starting again Monday, like we always do, because we never start Monday, let's be honest. It's 24 hours. From the moment something goes wrong, you have 24 hours to get yourself back on track. And this then may mean going back to point one, where you start small again. But as soon as we can, get ourselves in that reflective mode, start to learn and reap the lessons, find that silver lining in whatever's happened, because there's the law of polarity, meaning in order for there to be darkness, there must be light. There must be. Because you can't have one without the other. But darkness is just the absence of light. But the light has got to be there. It's there somewhere. That little grain. Find that light. Turn on the switch. Turn on the light. Search for it. Find the little grain. But these little slip-ups, just see them as data. We're just collecting data. We've just figured out a way that doesn't work. We've just uncovered another belief pattern that doesn't serve us. We've just found another friend that actually hasn't got our best interest at heart. It's data. It's data. It's data. Reflect on it and make progress. The third point here is about rewriting that internal narrative, that little voice, that internal chatter that we have with ourselves. And when we say things like, I have no willpower, can we rephrase that? Can we rewrite it? Can we reframe it by saying something like, I'm learning what works for me? Just listen to the difference there. I've no willpower. I have no willpower. It's a very factual, negative statement. Well, actually, maybe the reason why you don't have any willpower is because you haven't found what works for you yet. You haven't found what motivates you. You haven't found what keeps you engaged. You haven't found what keeps your attention. So by adapting point number 2, what you're actually doing by that reflection piece is you're learning what works for you. So straight away it puts a positive spin on the same thing. And just by changing this narrative, it changes the story that we tell ourselves, because the story that we tell ourselves about who we are becomes who we are. Let that sink in. The story we tell ourselves about who we are becomes who we are. So what story are you telling yourself about who you are? Because we live up to our labels. What are the labels that you've given yourself? Or somebody else has given you, and you've accepted it as truth without starting to question it. Start to question some of these stories that you have and start to rewrite your own narrative. Start supporting yourself and stop punishing yourself. If you've taken any value from today's episode, don't forget to leave us a like. And if you know somebody that may want to take some value out of this episode, don't forget to share it with a friend. Until next time, take it easy.